Okay, we're back to working on the 1952 Ford. We took last weekend off because we went out for a little road trip out to Alberta. Spent about a week out there, so we're back to working on this. We finished up welding the firewall, and we just started doing a bit of the mud work just to fill it up. Most of this will come off, and then be ready for high build one of these weeks. And we're just spending the tedious time of just sanding all the drip rails out, getting it all down steel, man. We still got a little bit in here to do, but it takes time. It's just boring and tedious work. And the floor pans we've started finishing and smoothing out. Yet again, it's just very boring and tedious work. The dash is all cleaned and ready for a little bit of mud work. Earlier this morning we got a tube from my brother and we machined it for left and right hand threads for the tie rods. So once that's dried, we'll put that in. So we'll actually have steering. So I finally remembered to bring some of the parts from my place here, so that way we'll have our steering wrapped up here shortly. But yeah, it's just basically just doing more metal sheet work and then a little bit of mud here and start sanding it. And so that's what we're doing today.
Hey, here we have where the heater air vent comes into the cab. As you can see, there's some rust. So we're going to be trying to use the original heater and the air ducts. So I'm going to, instead of just covering this hole up, I'm going to cut out the rust and put new sheet metal. So I laid out I marked out where I want to cut with a Sharpie, and I'm just going to use a regular grinder for this to cut it out. There you go, there's the rusted piece. And I cut it out big, so it's a lot easier to fix, and plus you will never see this. It's behind the fender and inside behind the kit panel. So that's what it used to look like, and there's the piece I made. It's just it's not tacked in yet. I've just used magnetic clamps to hold it into place, and we're just going to tack it. And you will not, we're not going to finish grinding it too much because you will not see it. And this isn't quite a show truck. We're just getting ready to tack her in. Apparently not. Alright, welder's working. Okay. We're just getting ready to tack the piece I made in. Close your eyes, fellas. Okay. We got a magnet under behind there. Tack it right there. And we'll take this magnet out. Make it easier to move the metal around. Metal is hot.
I don't think this is how they do it at Boyd Coddington.
Probably not. Right in that corner. Alright, I'll have to go inside and push this corner out. Push it out.
I'll just, right, that's perfect right there.
Yep.
Just that corner right there.
Looks good. And we'll just keep on tacking it in, going back and forth so we don't warp it. It's always best to have two people when you're doing this, in case of fires.
That's your tech tip for the day.
Okay, it's all nicely tack welded in. Now we just gotta grind it a little smooth. This one doesn't have to be perfect since you will never see it again. But it's a lot better than it rusty holes. Here's a little tech tip when you're welding small holes. Put back it with a piece of copper. You can bend it into shape to fit the metal better, and the weld will not stick to the copper, and you won't blow holes through everything.
Yeah, I'm good. Ow. Okay, we're back working on the 52 Ford. As you can see, the frame is gone. It's just out of here. We're going to try finishing off the firewall and some of the mud work today. We brought one of the doors back. It's all down to bare metal. We can start doing some of the finishing body work on it. It's surprisingly not bad shape. We'll be welding up these few holes because we have the proper mirrors that go off the door hinges. We also brought the front sheet metal in today, and we'll start knocking it apart. There's a few rough spots down here that we have to patch. Oh, my leg hurt. The inner fender wells are in nice shape. There's no cracks, so we'll take them apart and start cleaning everything up. But this is what we'll be doing this afternoon. And here's our tech tip for the day. When you're taking apart this junk, Kevin, put everything in a box. That way you won't lose any of your bolts. And that is your tech tip of the day. Okay, 2.5 hours later, we're able to get the front sheet metal all blown apart. There's actually quite a few pieces to the whole front clip, as you can see. And quite a bit of rust repair we'll have to do. As you can see all through here, we're just digging through the mud. Then we just mud it over old rust, and we'll have to take this all to bare metal and then see what's all under here, and then start fabricating, and we'll show you how we do it as we go. But yeah, there's quite a few pieces, surprisingly, to these old Fords. We didn't expect there would be that many pieces. take some figuring and some patience to put it all back together once it's done, but we'll figure it out. We're working on the door here, it's getting some mud, and we'll show you how we block sand it, or board sand it shortly. So, yeah. As you can see with this fender here, a lot of mud. They just put mud over rust. Hey Chris, what's that word again?
Archeology.
Yeah, it's kind of like an archaeology. You never know. You start digging, you start finding all this stuff. 30 years from now, somebody will be redoing this truck and they'll be like, man, somebody did a good job. It must have been Penny's Hot Rods and Customs. But you can see there's a hole right there, and we'll cut it out and re-weld it. And we'll find many more little surprises in this fender and the other fenders.
This is all Bondo.
Yeah, at least it's, yeah, I guess we'll find out when we actually take this thing to bare metal. Kevin's got a lot of work ahead of him.
No, I don't.
Okay, here's the driver's fender. It is equally as bad. We knocked out this big old rust bucket of Bondo or screws or whatever's in there. We did look online, and you can buy bottom replacement panels. So we'll be ordering those this week, I'm thinking, and then we can start working on this. But yeah, they're pretty rough shape. But we'll be showing you in an upcoming video when we get the panels on how to properly redo all this rust repair. And it'll be a long video in itself, so I'll give you a step-by-step play. Like I said, they're 60 years old, but they're got a lot of mud in them. And that's no bueno.
And a useless patch.
Very useless patch. That was held in with sheet metal screws. So yeah, that's what we did today. Took a while to take it apart, but most of the bolts we just ended up cutting because they're fine thread, and they just wouldn't come apart, so we just ended up cutting them all. So the box we really didn't need for the box of bolts, but yeah, so I guess next weekend we'll start doing a bit more body work on these. So it's going to take quite a while to do it. Oh, fudge. And the firewall's finished, so we're going to flip this over and we'll start working underneath the bottom of the cab. Pretty much it. A lot of boring work, just very tedious. Just all takes time, so. Yeah, if you like it, like and subscribe, leave a comment. We'd like to hear from you. So, yeah, and good luck with your project.